Robert mentioned, he's come back so many times. His play is decisive by nature, and he's got to take inspiration from these semi-finals in general. We've had 11 games, including yesterday's Armageddon, 9 decisive results, but only 2 draws. It feels like something's in the air out there.
And he can take inspiration even from the first game. He got into big trouble against Wesley, but finding that resource with knight d7, knight c5, Nodirbek is sharp.
It shows that he's not going to go down without a fight, but he's played Wesley and you look at Wesley, he's ready for game 2.
And we are ready for game 2 as well, and in just a few seconds we will have the first moves. Nodirbek Abdusattorov playing catch-up. He starts with the white pieces. Will it be the king spawn opening? It is the queen spawn opening. Wesley there adjusting the pieces. Jadou, and what is going to start with? Knight to f6.
Ooh, he lingered on his knight for a second, but no, it's symmetry. Copycat chess, d4, d5, and the queen's gambit offered by Abdusattorov, rejected swiftly by Wesley. So going for the Slav defense, one of the most solid openings in chess. And what variation of this Slav will we see? How ambitious will Nodirbek be here? All the knights are out now, and decision time. Does Black just set up more pawns on solid squares? Does he capture White's pawn? Here we go, semi-Slav, and the triangle variation, where Black just puts pawns in the center.
It's interesting because Wesley, in classical chess as well, has often chosen to play Queen's Gambit accepted positions where he takes that pawn on c4, but he doesn't want to give Nodirbek the center. When you steal that pawn, it is a gambit. White would control some key central squares, namely the e4 square. So Wesley is adopting a much more solid approach. He says that my pawn triangle is going to keep control of the center for now. I can develop my dark square bishop, castle, and my king. I think that Wesley's taking the right approach this far.
And very instructive how Wesley waits for White to first develop the bishop and then captures that central c-pawn, forcing Nodirbek to waste one move by having to play the bishop twice and immediately strikes with b5. This is still within theory a territory. That bishop, the light squared bishop that Wesley has, will come out to b7. And often these positions are again about getting those sector breaks in for Black. If Wesley's able to get the c5 going, but right now under control, what do you make of this choice by Wesley to dissolve the center?
Yeah, interesting choice. It means that he's deep in opening preparation, otherwise Wesley wouldn't be playing like this, giving White extra central pawns. Lovely shot there, I've got to say, with both Fabiano and Magnus. Super curious, super interested in the opening developments before they get ready for their own games. These top players, they love chess, they want to learn all the time, and okay, they go off ready to start their match, but in the meantime, it is Nodirbek the first to slow down.
Nodirbek's thinking here because he has a big choice. Does he push his pawn in the center? e4, where they say, is best by test, and he can test Wesley right here to see if Wesley understands the dynamics of the pawns pushing. But I think that right now Nodirbek should be happy with the outcome, even though he's the one thinking.
It will be a fight in the center with Nodirbek expanding.
high-row counterplay against White's king, however. White's king in the Caruana game has a beautiful hiding spot, a beautiful safe haven on h2. And normally in these positions you will not be able to defend passively. Here there's no active defense either. Look at Magnus's pieces. How sad is this? The black bishop, black queen, black rook all on their back rank, 2 of them on their starting squares, and White's knight is going to join the party. This one looks almost over. There's already some really nice checkmating patterns in the air.
It's looking so strong once that knight lands on h5 or f5. The only thing that I think you need to watch out from White could be that not allowing black's rook to that check on c1, and perhaps black's queen jumping into an attack from the g file. Are those resources available to black in these positions?
They are, and that's why I'm advocating on the left-hand side of our screens everyone, that Fabiano's knight goes to the right-hand side of the board. Instead of hopping into f5, you go into h5, so you can deliver a vicious check on the f6 square and get the black king in a minion. I actually think knight f5, which is maybe the more natural move. If you're playing on seconds, you go towards the center. But I think that's wrong because it doesn't afford the knight a check on the next turn. And I just want to point out that Wesley So, I mean, he's doing everything correctly. He has those bishop, rook, and 2 pawns, and for now, Nodirbek is stopping them. But I think as soon as he gets his rook behind the a pawn, he can just throw that pawn forward, close his eyes, and get a new queen.
Yeah, and that bishop in c3, it is such a strong piece controlling that a1 square. Once that a pawn starts moving forward, there's nothing that's going to stop it, and I think we're going to see that happen. Wesley does it at the cost of a pawn, but this pawn's going to turn into a queen.
Yeah, and he's trying to fight Abdusattorov. He's going to try and blockade black's passed pawn on that right board with his own queen, but queens are the worst blockaders in chess. Knights are the best blockaders, queens are the worst. Queens are simply just too powerful, too valuable. You're essentially wasting the best piece with White for just a black pawn, and eventually the queen will get booted out of a2 anyway. So Wesley, he's just made it look simple. I've got to say, Wesley at his best makes chess look easy.
If White was to put that queen on a2, you simply slide the other rook to the b file and get it down to the second rank, kicking that queen out of that defensive square. Rook b8, rook b2, and it's happening.
It's unstoppable. And also, Nodirbek is down to his final 15 seconds. Rook b2, pawn a2, it's just game over. It's so simple, as you said. I mean, Wesley makes it look simple, but Nodirbek helped him out by playing very ambitious in a moment where he should have signed the peace treaty.
And I'm really, I think it's very and this one ends, Wesley So resigns and Nodirbek strikes. Sorry, I'm gonna take that back. Wesley strikes again with the black pieces, and that is a 2-2 win for Wesley So. He's striking back in the match.